Witajcie na Board Game Girl w drugiej części naszej relacji z targów w Essen. Dziś odwiedzimy duże wydawnictwa, spotkamy na pewno autora Terraformacji Marsa. Mamy dla Was parę niespodzianek, ale o nich przekonacie się w filmie, który już za chwilę. A to już stoisko wydawnictwa Blackrok Games, a obok mnie stoją autorzy niezwykłej, przepięknej gry Eternity, Civil and Jim. Hi. Okay, could you tell us a few words about your game? It's so beautiful.
Thanks so much. Yeah, it's a great adventure, and we'd be happy to tell you more about how we came to create this game and how we worked with our very talented illustrator. If you want, I can give you a short presentation of the game, like just a little pitch for the viewers. Great. So the idea is this: for all eternity, the trees of life have rooted the harmony between the sea, the earth, and the sky. But the trees are dying. That's the very bad news. But the good news is that, thank you so much. You came and you're gonna play with us, and you're gonna be able to save the trees and restore harmony to the world. Thanks.
How long did you take to work on this game?
We are going to prepare and work on this game about 2 years ago. We have trying a lot of things before arrive at this point. Trick Games is very special game. There's a little risk for the editor because there's a community and some usual player. So we have tried to invent usually game with some modern mechanic. Well, it's the mix between these two things.
All of Blackrok Games are beautiful. The art is amazing.
Yes, for this game, the artist is Virginie Rapia. It's her first game. She is a children's book illustrator usually, and we find her with Blackrok Games because this game is quite zen and
Design are
yes,
also
a
zen.
little bit Japanese and African, just a good mix for the game.
This is art.
Yes. She draw with a large picture, so it's a great artist. Yeah.
Stoisko wydawnictwa Awaken Realms i przed Wami Michał Oracz. Cześć.
Cześć, witam.
Co przywieźliście? Co przywieźliście ze sobą?
Przywieźliśmy najnowszą wersję This War of Mine, która tutaj występuje na trzech różnych stanowiskach.
I jeszcze w formie prototypu.
Tak, już pliki są finalne, ale print jest prototypowy. A na 2 stołach prezentujemy grę powstającą, która uderzy w Kickstartera być może za tydzień, być może jeszcze chwileczkę poczeka. Jest to gra o tytule The Edge, w zasadzie druga edycja The Edge, tym razem z podtytułem Dawnfall. Jest to gra strategiczna, rozgrywająca się na planszy, bardzo oparta o kartę. To jest coś takiego, jakbyśmy połączyli grę bitewną, wyjąwszy z niej cały wargame, czyli sklejanie figurek, mierzenie miarkami odległości, przerzucili to na planszę, uprościli reguły do gry planszowej, a z gier karcianych dorzucili zarządzanie taliami, zagrywanie kart. Mamy tutaj coś takiego jak talie jednostek. Każda jednostka to nie jest jedynie figurka i jakaś karta z cechami i z kilkoma skillami, ale cała talia. Tak jak w Pathfinderze budujemy sobie postać, którą gramy, tak tutaj każda jednostka na planszy to jest zestaw kart i te karty zawierają bardzo unikalne cechy, akcje, no może właśnie nawet nie cechy, tylko akcje, które tworzą dość bogatą fabułę tego świata. Czyli mamy jednostki, które z założenia są, jak na przykład tutaj, nie wiem czy widać tego psa, które są niewidome. Mamy takiego ślepego psa, natomiast on nie może nikogo tutaj tknąć w ogóle na planszy, chyba że ktoś się ruszy, wtedy go wyczuwa. Każda jednostka ma ze sobą fabułę, która jest w tych kartach ukryta.
Wygląda naprawdę rewelacyjnie. Mnie już przekonałeś, ja chętnie grę wesprę i mam nadzieję, że nasi widzowie również. Trzymam mocno kciuki.
Dzięki.
Jesteśmy na stoisku wydawnictwa Strongold Games. Przed Wami Steven. Hi Steven. The Lagrania, it's one of my best game ever. And
Really?
you have a Lagrania dice game.
That's right, exactly. So the designer, Ode, he just goes by now, he basically took the dice mechanics that were in that game and he distilled them down into a fast-paced dice game that still uses like the resource management, because the dice now act in multiple ways. You have resource management, you can hire workers, and you can take siestas. So all those little things. And the game plays like, as if you don't have an hour and a half to play a game of La Granja. Instead, you can play a game of No Siesta in like 30 or 40 minutes tops. So really fast-paced, fun dice throwing game.
Great. And the second new game here in Essen.
I have so many new games here in Essen, so many. But the one you were talking about, I think, is Sola Fide, the Reformation. Now, that's a really interesting one, too. The Reformation happened 500 years ago, where the Protestant and Catholic churches split. Martin Luther nails the 95 Theses on the church, and the whole Revolution and Reformation period began. So we went out to Jason Matthews and Christian Leonard, who were responsible for so many thematic games. So this was a perfect fit. And they did Twilight Struggle, which is like the number 3 game on Board Game Geek, for instance. And here they've used one of their more simple systems. There was a campaign manager system that they used. They riffed on that. They got a little bit different on what they did. And in this game, now you're trying to control the 10 inner circles of the Catholic Church, either to achieve Reformation as the Protestants or to stop the Reformation as the Catholics. So it's a very interesting push and pull between the two factions. 2-player game, and again, only a 45-minute game, so not a really, really, really big game, but really interesting for gamers. I think they're going to love it, especially that heavy, hardcore thematic nature of the game.
Are you planning to publish a Polish designer game at your home?
Well, first of all, we did do Stronghold 2nd Edition with Portal Games. That's Ignacy Chevicek, my very good friend, who is my co-partner on my podcast, Board Games Insider, so you guys got to go listen to that. And I just had a very big meeting with another Polish company who's got a design that is coming out in Essen 2017, and it looks great. I can't tell you more about it, but I would say there's a high probability that I will be publishing that game. So,
wow, great news.
Yeah, very big news. More Polish designers.
Stoimy na stoisku Fryxgames. Przed Wami Jacob, który opowie nam parę słów o Terraforming Mars. Terraforming Mars is the big success in Poland. Everybody loves this game. It's amazing. Is that a surprise for you?
Well, it's a surprise that it went as big as this. Of course, we knew it was a good game. We only make good games, but we didn't really anticipate it to be this big. But we're really happy.
What else do you have in this year in Essen?
Well, we have our old games that we made these previous years. So we have Fleets, for example, and the Space Station and the Brawling Barons that we made before.
And now you're working on?
Well, we are working on prototype expansions for Terraforming Mars. So we have several expansions in the pipeline. So you can expect to see more of that in the future.
A oto stoisko Quined Games. Przed Wami Paul. Hi Paul.
Hello.
You have a very new game. It's the simple version of Keyflower.
Yes, it's Key to the City, London.
It's amazing. I love the Keyflower.
Thanks. It's a co-production with R&D Games, and it's a bit more streamlined, you know. So we've taken some components out, and they put in a connector system, which gives you a great value of points at the end of the game.
Game is a little bit longer than Keyflower.
I would say maybe a bit shorter even. Yeah, because or maybe the same. It depends on how well you play, of course.
Okay, and Papa Paolo.
Papa Paolo is our brand new release, the one we think we are the most proud of, maybe. It's by a Belgian designer. He also designed Warlock, and this is his new design. And there's just so many different mechanics in there, which make the game very easy to grasp, but also you get on each phase you get a tough choice.
Jesteśmy na stoisku wydawnictwa Lautapelit. Przed Wami Markus, który opowie o grach tego wydawnictwa. Hi Markus.
Hello.
Lately my friend says that Lautapelit in Finland names it called social games or board games.
Yes.
Yes.
This year we have 4 new novelties in the fair. We have the games we have this year are a bit on the lighter side. People may know us from Eclipse and Nations, which are heavy gamers games. But this year we have a wide variety of games. We have one speed game, Dungeon Rush. Then we have a sporting game, which is a cycling game, a racing game, Flamme Rouge. Then we have Honshu, which is a card game, and it's perhaps more on the gamer side. And then Dokmus, which is a light strategy game for gamers, but it's also plays under an hour or so.
Are board games popular in Finland, like in Germany or Poland?
Perhaps not as popular as in Germany, but they are gaining popularity. And whereas maybe 10 years ago, people were playing more Monopoly and nothing else, nowadays there's much more variety, and even the big supermarkets and chains carry a wide variety of games.
Do you have any such a big event like this in Finland?
Yes, we have every August. We have an event that's tied. It's called Ropecon. It's both role-playing and board gaming, and it's a big event in Finland in the summer.
Jesteśmy na stoisku wydawnictwa Awaken Games. Hi, you have a very interesting and unusual game, Herb.
Yes, that's correct. Here, the Royal Conflict game.
How come the idea?
The idea is that you can find here at the Viking grave, so it's gonna feel and look like a real authentic Viking game. Since we're from Sweden, Vikings is in our history, so it was really important for us. Yeah.
Could you tell us a few words about mechanism?
It's it's a board game for 2 persons, and it's only 8 pieces where you move. So it's really simple mechanism, and the pieces are of wood, and the cloth is of a textile. Yeah.
It's not a real Vikings game, yeah?
No, it's not, but it's but it's meant to feel, and it does feel. When we have had game testers, they really think it looks and feels like a game from the Viking period.
Przed Wami Fabien, jesteśmy na stoisku wydawnictwa Matagot. To wydawnictwo przyszykowało na Essen wiele nowych gier. Hi Fabien.
Hello.
You have a lot of new game in this year.
Yeah, as usual, we always bring a lot of new games and very different kind of games. We have a very heavy strategic game and also much simpler game, like really quick dice games, and of course some expansions to our best sellers, basically.
The Innis is the very big game with a non-typically graphic design.
Yes, the graphic design was done by a famous artist called Jim Fitzpatrick. He's very well known for the face of Che Guevara that is everybody has on their T-shirts, and he's also very famous for doing illustration of a Celtic world in role-playing games in the 1980s, I would say.
Cover of Innis is very interesting. It's so different.
Yeah, it's absolutely very different. It's kind of a love or hate a cover, so people either love it or they will say it's ugly. So yeah, it's very special. It gives an identity to the game, really. Yeah.
Could you tell us a few words about the rules?
Yeah. So Innis is a game about becoming the chieftain of the land, of the Celtic land. And in order to do that, you need to have to fulfill one of 3 victory conditions. Actually, you need to have more victory conditions than the others. And there are 3 possibilities. One is to expand as much as possible, so be present on 6 territories. The other one is like the religious victory condition, where you need to be sitting next to sanctuaries. And the last one is to be the most powerful clan, so is to have the majority over other clans. And if you have a victory condition, then you can win the game.
Sounds really cool. And the odds of the game?
So the way the game works is that everything is driven by cards. So you will start by doing a draft of cards, and you have 17 action cards, green cards, and for the whole game, all the action will be with these 17 cards. So as the game progresses, you learn about the game, you learn about these cards, you know what the other players have, because there is a drafting mechanism, so you know what you passed to the other players, so you can try to guess what they're going to do, and it's a very strategic game. Always it's the same cards, but every round is very different.
You have also a new Bruno Catala's game.
Yeah, so the other Bruno Catala, I have it right here. This is Dice Stars. He did that with his friend and colleague Ludovic Maublanc, so they are very well known, and it's a very quick but very clever dice game. So you roll dice, and you have several choices to make. You can take risks. It's about taking either all the dice of the same color or all the dice of the same number, and you will actually fill out a grid like this in order to score the most points. So very clever dice game, Dice Stars.
Przed Wami Wei-Min, jesteśmy na stoisku wydawnictwa Imperior S4. What games do you brought in Essen in this year?
Okay, hello everyone, my name is Wei-Min. We work for Emperor S4 Games from Taiwan, and we bring 4 new titles at Essen. The first one is Roundhouse. It is a traditional Euro-style strategy game for 2 to 5 players and playing 60 to 90 minutes. And the second is Planet Defenders. It is a gateway game, 2 to 4 players, 30 to 60 minutes. And we also bring Hanami Koji. It is a 2-player filler, only costs you 15 minutes to play.
And it's already sold out. Congratulations.
Yeah, Hanami Koji is hot games and already sold out. Thank you for support.
Could you tell us a few words more about Roundhouse?
Okay. Roundhouse, it is we play in China in Ming Dynasty, and we are a family leader, a merchant. All of the merchants, they build a structure named Roundhouse. They live together to defeat the pirates. Okay, and we play as a family. We want to honor our family, so there is a round circle on the game board. So you need to go in clockwise order. On your turn, you move forward 1 to 3 spaces, enter each room and do business with other families or other companies, and you will get some resources. This is a resource conversion game. Okay, you use this resource convert to honor. Okay, and there is an interest point that every time you go back to the start spaces, you need to stop at that, and then you need to call one of the outside towns, all of your members, call them back to worship your ancestor, and the more members you go back, you'll get more honors. Okay, and let's until the temple, there are 10 people at the 4-player games, 10 members in the temple, and the game will end. We'll see which family earns the more honors.
Znajdujemy się w specjalnej sali, dlatego jest tutaj tak cicho. Tutaj rozłożone są na stolikach gry właściwie wszystkich wydawnictw, które biorą udział w targach. Można tutaj sobie przyjść, to jest specjalne miejsce, pomieszczenie dla prasy. Można przyjść, sfotografować każdy detal, każdy szczegół, przeprowadzić rozmowę. Tak jak my teraz będziemy rozmawiać z Ronnie Forbrot z wydawnictwa Spiele. Hi Ronnie.
Hi.
Szczególnie podoba nam się gra The Colonists. Many people say that this is probably the heaviest game in this hall.
Yeah, I would definitely agree on that. It is really slightly lighter than the Caverna game, but the box size is the same, and it is really filled with a lot of material, a lot of boards and papers. Yeah.
Could you say a few words about the mechanism?
Actually, it's a worker placement, worker movement game divided in 2 separated parts. I think the easiest way is to explain it just how the game works and what the game is about, and then you will see how the mechanism is working. So actually the aim, the target is to build up your own community, your own colony, and that's why we are here with the colonists. And your actions you actually run on your capital city. So there's a board in the middle of the table, having these kind of Catan-shaped action tiles, and you move your main worker just through these action tiles, and then you build up or you collect resources. You have to store them on your own community board. This is what we see here right in front of us. And on your community board, in order to produce goods or to use certain building functionalities, you have to put your own workers or your inhabitants on these buildings or warehouses or.
Stoisko wydawnictwa Rebel i prototyp nowej gry Adama Kwapińskiego.
Dzień dobry, witam wszystkich. Jest to gra Nemesis, gra science fiction, troszeczkę survival horror i semi-kooperacyjna gra. To jest dużo złożona rzecz, nad którą aktualnie pracujemy wraz z Adamem Kwapińskim. No i planujemy, żeby to się pojawiło w przyszłym roku.
Czyli na przyszłe Essen gra już będzie w sprzedaży, a teraz widzimy, czy to są finalne grafiki?
Nie, to jeszcze wszystko jest prototyp i grafiki na pewno jeszcze nie są finalne. Zresztą tutaj część komponentów, jak widzowie mogą sobie rozpoznać z innych gier. Natomiast jest to już w pełni grywalny prototyp, którym chcemy zebrać feedback od naszych partnerów handlowych, od recenzentów, od ludzi tutaj z targów.
Ale widzę, że zainteresowanie od ludzi z targów jest spore.
Tak, ewidentnie ten tytuł przyciąga, tak jak tutaj ludzi przychodzących, chętnie siadają, bawią się, no i czują te wszystkie filmowe akcje, które tutaj występują.
polskie stoisko, wydawnictwo Hexy, Marcin Dąbrowski, dzień dobry. I gra polskich twórców Janka Zalewskiego i Filipa Miłyńskiego. O tej grze rozmawialiśmy już ze sobą, prawda?
Tak, na Pyrkonie tegorocznym.
Tak, jeżeli klikniecie tutaj, to przeniesiecie się do naszej relacji z tamtej imprezy. A teraz start Scrappersy w Essen. Jak zainteresowanie?
Zainteresowanie jest, aczkolwiek musimy zaznaczyć, że jesteśmy tylko z prototypem. Gra jeszcze się nie ukazała, planujemy zrobić to na początku przyszłego roku. Wszystko już jest gotowe tak naprawdę, pracujemy już tylko nad detalami.
Rozumiem, że teraz zbieracie odzew po prostu od osób, które tutaj grają. Czy planujecie wprowadzić jeszcze jakieś zmiany do mechaniki, czy to już jest generalnie zamknięty temat?
Temat jest raczej zamknięty, w tej chwili pracujemy nad dodatkiem i nad kolejnymi projektami.
Jesteśmy na stoisku wydawnictwa Cranio Creation, wydawcy m.in. Steam Parka. W tym roku mamy tutaj kilka nowych tytułów, dwie szczególnie mnie z nich zainteresowały. Hi, could you tell us in a few words about Lorenzo in Magnifico?
Good morning, everyone. Lorenzo is the new game from Simone Luciani, Virginio Gilli and Flaminia, and it's a medium German Euro game. The art has been made by Clemens Franz. It is a game of worker placement with variable strength related to the value of the dices. The value of the dices is the same for every player, but every player has even the helper that give more strength to their workers. There are leaders cards too that help the players to increase the chances they have to take points and make actions. 6 turns in 3 eras where players have to collect cards to create engines to produce resources, money and victory points. The players have to take care about the faith. That is a significant part of the game because with the faith they can prevent the excommunications that are malus given to the players at the end of every era. Okay? If you prefer something lighter than a German game, we want to present you a blockbuster from Cranio. It's a game that has been presented some years ago, and it is Horse Fever. Oh, sorry, it was in the back. Horse Fever. We are planning to make the expansion of this game. This is a game about a race of horses, but I think the most important thing is very light, very simple, but very crazy, as is typical in the game from Cranio Creations.
A teraz trafiliśmy chyba do jednej ze śniadaniowych telewizji. Michał Gołębiowski, autor gry Spaghetti, gotuje dla nas makaron. Witaj Michale, jak twoja gra gotuje się na Essen?
Dziękuję, gotuje się znakomicie. Przychodzą tłumy żonne jeść spaghetti od śniadania po kolację.
Na Board Game Garu jeszcze nie opowiadaliśmy o tej grze. Powiedz nam pokrótce naszym widzom, o co w niej chodzi.
Gra polega na jedzeniu spaghetti na czas. W ciągu swojej tury gracz dostaje 30 sekund, aby wyciągać spaghetti jedną ręką. Musi się starać, aby nie nabrudzić na stół. Należy uważać, aby żaden klops nie wypadł z talerza, ani żaden makaron nie ubrudził obrusa, gdyż wtedy nasza tura się kończy. Makaron jest dostępny w 4 smakach, od najkrótszego do najdłuższego. Różnie punktowane oczywiście.
Michale, jak bardzo zmieniła się twoja gra od pomysłu przez testowanie jej w grupie testerskiej Monsun po wydanie teraz w wydawnictwie?
Od początkowej wersji z prostymi jednakowymi sznurkami, smutnymi i białymi, do przepięknej, kolorowej wersji udekorowanej mnóstwem pulpetów oraz żetonami przepisów, które wprowadzają mnóstwo atrakcyjnych zmian.
Czy testerzy z Monsuna bardzo krytykowali twoje pomysły?
Byłbym zaskoczony, gra została przyjęta bardzo dobrze, inaczej niż większość moich gier.
Jesteśmy na tyłach stoiska wydawnictwa Pegasus Spiele. Za chwilkę porozmawiamy z Julią o nowościach tego wydawnictwa. Hey Julia. Could you tell us in a few words about your new releases?
Yes, of course. So let's begin with the chariot race.
It's a game for gamers.
It's a game for families. It's a quite fun racing game. You have to throw dice and then drive your chariot into the goal, which is not that easy because you can hurt other chariots, and then the chariot gets destroyed, and if you're too fast you will get some hits and you will lose of your parts of your card.
Okay. And for gamers, you have a new game, Great Western.
Yes, that's right. Great Western Trail. It is from Alexander Pfister as well, like Mombasa, and it's quite a complex game because you have to. So you're playing it's playing in the Wild West, and you have to ship the animals and get points for that, and you have a lot of ways to do it and a lot of ways to walk and to do actions and gain money and something like this.
I really like your line for kids. You have a new game?
Yes, it's Wizardry to the Power of 3. I can show you the box. Yep. And it's a really fun and beautiful game because so all the kids are playing these little wizards, and you have to go back to school because they sneaked out because they want to see the market for wizards, but they're actually not allowed because they have to be in school and sleeping because it's in the night. And so they sneaked out, but now they have to go back. And Willy the ghost is following them. Actually, Willy is just the housekeeper of the schoolhouse, but he's covering like a ghost. He's disguised so that the children get scared and follow the way home. And actually, you're playing cooperative, but in the end, when you're on the last steps, the last stairs of the castle of the house, you have to play on your own and remember where the Loomies, it is called, where the Loomies are, and you have to find them.
Jesteśmy na zapleczu stoiska wydawnictwa What's Your Game, a przed Wami autorzy gry Kolejowe Rewolucje, Marco i Stefania. Hi guys, I see that your game is already sold out here in Essen.
Yes, we sold out in Thursday. Thursday evening was already sold out.
Okay. Congratulations! Could you tell us a few words about the game, about the rules?
Yes. As obvious, is a game about building railroads across the USA, but maybe the particularity of the game is that it's based upon a special use of the workers with special abilities. You could say this is a worker team building. You have to take workers, use it the best, and then at some point of the game you have also to promote it and to lose it. So there is a continuous flow of workers and you have to optimize it. This is the core mechanic of the game. And then in the game you will find all the features classic of the railroad building. So you build rails, you build stations, you have to connect some specific stations and so on. And in addition you have to build also telegraph offices, because while in America we're building railroads, in the same time they were building also telegraph lines. And in this game it's very important to build telegraph offices, because with telegraph offices you have access to the shares of the telegraph company, and shares are very valuable in some specific points of the game.
Okay, so this is a very complicated game for gamers.
No, it's not complicated. It's you know Django? Yes, is little easier than Go.
Probably the access of this game is easier than other What's Your Game because the features are very clear. Okay, you have to build rails, stations, and so on. So you can imagine what you have to do, but maybe it's a little bit complicated, but it's funny to plan your strategy by using the workers.
Witajcie, przed Wami Rajiv Gupta, właściciel wydawnictwa Quined Games. Gdybyśmy chcieli wymieniać hity wydane przez to wydawnictwo, to by zajęło po prostu lata. Największa prawdopodobnie firma z grami planszowymi. Hello Rajiv, it's very nice to meet you. You have a lot of the best game.
Thank you very much. First I like to say only word I know in Polish is dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry. You work a lot with Rebel, with a Polish publisher. What do you think about Polish board games market?
I am very fascinated with the Polish people and the market. People in Rebel, they're not my customers, they're my partners. And that's the feeling I have with all the whole market, all board gamers, the respect and love they give to us, to our products. I'm always very fascinated and thrilled. And I like to travel. If I can travel every month, I love to do it. But I try to do it 4 to 5 times a year.
I heard that Polish board game market is actually the third market in Europe for the biggest.
In certain board games, I will certainly say yes. Yeah, because I find players, they have not only fire, very intelligent, and they very thorough when they like to play or decide what they're playing. So it's always challenging for us to fulfill this intellect, I would say, and the fun part too. So we develop games, we're trying to develop, and our partners, Rebels, Rafael, Piotr, it's very nice working with them because they're very open. In my whole life, I've never seen such a open business person and partner. And I've been doing business since more than 40 years. Yeah, so that's a compliment I like to make for them, and I'm saying from bottom of my heart how I feel.
Oto stoisko Vesuvius Media. Przed Wami Konstantino, który opowie parę słów o ich nowej grze. Hi Konstantino, you have a very cool looking game.
Yes, it's called Seven Dwarfs Fall. So the objective of the game is to gather provisions because the winter is coming. Nothing to do with Game of Thrones though. So you have 7 really cool guys, your dwarves. So you send them to the mines, they gather gems, and then you send them to the tavern to buy provisions for the winter. This game is a worker placement area control because you are trying to build your own kingdom, but you can place tiles on top of tiles to screw other people over and trying to gather more victory points. Very fast, very cool game. The twist that the game has is that generally dwarves are nice guys. They do not do mean stuff to each other, but you can always go to the ogre tavern and you can hire under the table the nasty ogres and they go get their hands dirty and attack other players. So it's a really fast-paced, really competitive game. The first couple of times you play it, everybody sticks to their corner and they're playing nice. Second time they start building kingdoms on top of kingdoms. Third time the ogres are unleashed.
Patrzcie, kto jest z nami. Przed nami jest Vlada Chwatil, autor takich hitów jak Cywilizacja poprzez wieki czy Tajniacy. Hi Vlada, I heard that is a new version of Codenames Picture. Could you tell us more about this game?
Yeah, it's Codenames with pictures. We created Codenames last year, and even when we are creating it, we were considering that it could be also pictures instead of words. And then when we tried, we discovered it works a bit different. It looks same and works. The mechanics are the same, but people think a different way. Yeah, triggers different part of brain. So we this year we explored this more. We were trying to find the right type of pictures that has enough connections but is like easy enough to recognize everything, and it works very nice and we are happy with it.
Are you working on new version of Codenames?
You know, it's not, Codenames is rather like about having ideas, not about working. Yeah, I'm working on heavier games, and sometimes I have idea for a simpler game. Yeah, and yeah, there will be probably something new with Codenames, but honestly, I still my main itch is to do some meaty, nice board games. Yeah.
Niestety, tegoroczne targi już się kończą, minęły mi szybciej niż miałam nadzieję, że miną. Poznaliśmy mnóstwo nowych gier, mnóstwo nowych osób i wydawców. Mam nadzieję, że nasza tegoroczna relacja bardzo Wam się podobała. Jeżeli tak, dajcie znać w komentarzach, jeżeli nie, napiszcie, co mogliśmy zrobić lepiej. Przywieziemy ze sobą mnóstwo nowych gier, które będziemy Wam systematycznie pokazywać. Prawdziwe perełki. Mam nadzieję, że będą się grały tak cudnie, jak wyglądają. Do zobaczenia za rok.